Hi everyone. Listen, if you're a fan of Rex Ray and you'd like to watch me try to create papers on my gel plate inspired by him, doesn't look like his work at all, then that's what this video is about. I own 2 Rex Ray books. I spend a lot of time looking at them and trying to deconstruct his work, and I'm not doing that well, but I am making art. So if you'd like to join me, I'll be at the table and I'll see you over here in a minute, and see ya. Bye. All right, everyone. I've been gone forever, and I can't wait to get back to this because I have been working like a mad scientist on a new website, which is launched, and it's pretty good. So anyways, today what I want to do is I want to create large papers on this 12 by 14 gel plate. I want to use some basic colors. I've got Mars Black, Titanium White. These are Liquitex Basics. I have Parchment, Unbleached Titanium, and Raw Sienna. And I also have some Basics Fluid Acrylic and Turquoise Blue. I'm going to try mixing this color in with this color scheme so that it has a similar characteristic to stuff that I've made earlier. I don't know if I'm going to succeed, but that's the plan. So I'm going to, like I said, work on my 12 by 14 gel plate, and I'm going to try, oh boy, I'm out of practice, guys. All right, so what I want to do is just start out with a couple of basic background prints just to warm up because I'm rusty. It doesn't take me long to forget everything I know. And I don't even have a brayer. Don't even have a brayer ready, guys. All right, so I'm going to just put this background paint down. And I want to show you a couple of tools that I might make to texture things. So in my other life, before retirement, before being put out of business, before all kinds of stuff, I used to hand carve stamps. And one of the things that I've learned about Rex Ray, because this is still, I'm going to continue to be inspired by Rex Ray. This is, I have noticed that he does block printing. So the other day I carved this stamp. I don't have a way to make a handle for it, so I'm going to use it to texture this plate. I don't know, I haven't used any of my rubber stamps on anything before, so I don't even know if this is going to work. Well, we're going to find out. Okay, and let's do a little bit down there and down there. Too much stuff on my table, guys. This is in my way. I keep thinking I'm going to use it. It's always in my way. Put that down. Okay. Let's just, I don't have a big enough piece of paper for all of this. So I just want to see what I'm going to get when I put that block on. I get something interesting, but not what I was expecting. So I didn't know what to do with that thing, so I just flipped it upside down on a cloth. So what I want to do, all right, I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to add, I have no idea, guys. I don't know. I know that these are opposing colors, but sometimes you get really good results. And on my last video, I got some really interesting stuff, but see, that doesn't do anything. It dulls it down, takes the bright away. Let's see what happens when I mix this up like this, which I saw, Who? Jackie Bernardi. I saw Jackie Bernardi do that. All right, so this is, it's an interesting color. A little dirtier than I had in mind, but of course I'm mixing colors that are opposite on the color wheel. But it's not a terrible color. Okay. I'm going to just try to get a little bit of texture on this thing. I've grown quite fond of this. Can I just get some texture on it like that? Let's see what happens. Well, not much happened. And I really don't love that color. So how do I respond to that? How about I add, sure, I'm going to throw some of this, I don't know the difference between unbleached titanium and parchment, but we'll find out. All right, let's see. This looks like it's going to need to sit there for a minute. So it's kind of a pretty color. It does have some texture left over from that floral. It's called something like floral wrapping blah blah. It's something to do with wrapping flowers for bouquets or something like that. Oh, well, that is a lot of fun. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try, all right, I'm going to try this mixed with maybe that and just a scooch of this to lighten it up. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try doing this because it's a lot easier just to mix it up like that and spread it out. All right, let's see what happens. It's a thick paint. It's a lot of paint, guys. I put too much paint. I was watching a video yesterday on YouTube, which I have done very little YouTube watching because I literally get up in the morning, put my bathrobe on, make a pot of coffee, and then have come and sit in front of the computer until I think it's going to rain, but it's actually just getting dark, and work on my website, which I haven't done for years, but that used to be my job when I had my business. So I did it, and the website's launched, but that's not the point. So the point was, I was watching this girl, and she started calling everybody guys, and apparently someone must have called her out in the comments about it because she corrected herself every time she said guys and said friends. Okay, friends, I don't know. I think you guys are my friends, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stop myself from saying guys. That is a byproduct of too much paint. So I'm going to do what I did before, which is add some of this on there and see if I can't get, I need variety in color. This is what I don't know how to do. I was watching, well, not watching, I'm reading Rex Ray's book every morning for hours, just looking at the pictures and trying to figure out, trying to deconstruct what he does. I haven't figured it out. This is a lot of paint, Cherie. I haven't figured it out, but I am figuring some things out. But I do not know how to work with paint colors. But you know what? I'm doing it on camera, so I'm learning. I'm learning how to work with paint. I'm going to get this all over my jacket. It's too cold to be. Oh, ooh. That's very nice. It's almost exactly what I just made, but I like that. Okay, what if this is going to end up, I'm going to do that. This is the burnt sienna. Maybe I'll just put just a scooch in that so it's not so, here, go back to what you know. Go back to what you know, Cherie. I'm trying new techniques. I'm trying to play with color. I think there's too many variables on my plate right now. Well, that's an interesting color. And it's got little shreds of other color in there. Let me try something. I've got that wood grain tool set aside somewhere. Where are you, tool? Buried under here. This has got little I don't like that. I don't mind that. All right, that's very tone on tone-ish. Let's see what happens. That I pulled down too thick and it's going to go right down to the paper. Interesting. You know, I have to tell you, I do like that little bit of burnt sienna in with these blues. I like what it, I've got to turn on the camera so that you guys can see what I'm up to. So I just put some parchment over that, what's left of that pattern that I just created. And now I'm going to pull it. One of the things that I've seen in the Rex Ray book that I really want to have, but I don't know how to get, I didn't show you, I'm sorry. There you go. Too much pattern for what I'm trying to accomplish, is he's got these really pretty warm colors that are like peach and things like that. And I don't know how to get those colors because I'm so heavy-handed with all of my paint. So let's see what that turns into. That turns into caramel. Well, let's see. Let's see how it looks. Maybe I'll just put this on the background of something and maybe put something lighter or darker on the top. I have to tell you, today is not my best day because everybody seems, I told you, well, you don't, not everybody knows me. I am the president of a small co-op. And the reason I'm the president, is because I don't know how to say no. And you heard my phone? They're after me. There's no way to get away. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm back again. I had to go calm myself down because I have too many things going on, and I'm a pretty good multitasker until I'm not. And when I'm not, I shut down. So I'm back, and for my own edification, I just need to look at what I've done. Yuck. Okay. Yeah, I just need to see what I've done so that I know. I don't care for this much pattern, but you know what? I'm just getting started, so go a little easy on yourself. Okay, so what I can see here is that I've got a theme going on of the same exact colorways over and over again, and I want to switch that up. So let's see how we can do that. I'm going to power ahead because my spirits are better because I just got a bunch of stuff off my plate. All kinds of emergencies going on in my little co-op over here. Okay. So let's see. Where am I going to go with this? I'm all in a tizzy here, guys. All right. Let me continue to work with this kind of scary color because I don't quite know what it is, but I'm going to, all right, I always way overdo black, so let's just do a small amount of black and maybe more of this stuff. And I'm going to stop snapping those caps closed because it's wicked annoying. See, way too much black, but I could always mix that up and just throw a little bit of, no, stick with this, stick with this. I'll put more of this in there because I put way too much. And now I've got probably so much paint on my table, I mean on my plate. Whatever. It's all an experiment. Okay, that's not a good color. But you know, one of the things that I've noticed about, I'm going to keep talking about Rex Ray like he's my boyfriend sitting on the couch in the other room and I'm trying to impress him. So I bought the original Rex Ray book, which, not the original. I bought the art and the original, crap, I can't talk. I bought the Rex Ray book that's the newest one. And I tried to find the one called Art and Design, which was released in 2007. And I couldn't find a copy of it until I did. And I can't even tell you, I paid almost $90 for that book. Hold on. I got to show you. Look at this book, guys. This is a book that shows his earliest work. I mean, I got it full of all kinds of garbage, which I'm glad I found. But look at what I have. Come on, come on. I have a signed Rex Ray book that says, "To Rob and Howard with thanks, Rex Ray." So I don't know if you know it, but my new name is Rob and Howard. This book is awesome because it's some of his earliest work, which is all of these really interesting cutout collages, which this one in particular speaks to me. But I make myself a pot of coffee in the morning and I look at it for about an hour because it's so inspirational. So he's got some fairly unorthodox colors there. And, ooh, that is, oh, that's a weird color, guys. It's got question marks all over it. Okay. So, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to, oh, that scares me. All right, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do, how do I, what I want. I have to laugh at myself, guys. I'm still coming down from a big stress overload. I'm trying to create something that was the skills of an incredibly accomplished artist. And here I am. I think I'm going to pick up his book and and be able to produce art and work with color like he does. That's not going to happen. All right, I did it again. Oh, you know what? These were inside the book. I cut these out because what he does inspires me. I'm just going to lay them down because why not? All right, got those. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This is a total crapshoot here, guys. So these are the cutouts. He cuts out all kinds of stuff. All right, let's do that. And then, hold on. So glad I have a microphone now. How about, here, let's just cover that frightening thing up and see what happens here. Maybe it'll be like a big surprise and we'll all get excited. Copy paper masks. They're like so easy to work with. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, This is kind of like my olden days before I met Rex Ray, playing with cutouts and lots of pattern and stuff like that. I don't love this colorway. I have to say I'm borderline regretting the colorway that I have started with, but you know what? I am going forward with it. Look at, I have created, if I can get it off of here without destroying it, I've created an awesome piece of collage paper that can be collaged on things. Made a couple more here. Okay. So I'm all over the place right now in terms of what I'm doing and what I feel like talking about, because I do feel like talking. I'm working out some details here. I'm going to, all right. So by the time you guys see this, my website will have been up for, a couple of days. And Nicole and I don't know, have I talked about Nicole? I think I've been kind of keeping her a secret. So let me just go back just for a minute. Nicole worked for me when I owned my first Paint Your Own Pottery studio. She was the first manager that we hired. And I was pretty straight and conservative back then. And I did not want to hire her because I thought she had weird hair. This is a true story. And my business partner overrode me, and we ended up hiring her. And she was a gift from God. This girl is a worker. Look at her, I put it on there perfectly. She's a worker. She's loyal. She's hardworking. She's got the tenacity that I have, and that can be a handful to deal with. All right, what do we got? We got a piece of paper. And what can I do with this? Hold on a second, guys. Apparently I can't talk, and I'm going to put it on top of this because I don't love this. Maybe it'll tone it down. So anyways, Nicole worked for me for years. She was my production manager at my Museware Pottery Studio, which meant that she made everything that we sold was made by her. Well, with some exceptions, because we did it one time, we had more employees. And that's better. So everything that we sold, Nicole's hands were all over. Her task was to faithfully reproduce my designs, and she did. She even learned how to forge my handwriting so well that sometimes I couldn't tell if it was my handwriting or hers. This has got to go away. I'm going to do something with unbleached titanium. I usually have parchment. I don't know how I ended up with this color. This is just a very intuitive response. I don't really know if this is the right thing to do or not, but that's got to go. That brown thing, yeah, that's, even though I do like a neutral color, that brown thing's got to go. All right, what am I going to do with this? If I put a pattern on that, it's going to be really patterned because this is so dark. See, this is my MO, guys. All right, let me try this again. This is a stamp that I carved that I'm not impressed with. I don't know what I thought. I thought I was going to like it better. It didn't do much on the last piece. I guess I thought it was going to pull up more paint, but because it's kind of rubbery, it's smooth, so the paint maybe doesn't stick to it so well. All right, so we got that. Let's just drop that upside down on this and pick this up with this. Do I seem scattered? I just need to calm myself down. Maybe I should make myself a cup of tea, because a little caffeine couldn't hurt, right? All right. Eventually I'll calm down, and if I don't, I'll turn the camera off. I'll go calm myself down, and I'll come back at another time. You know, everybody talks about how my voice is soothing and I seem so calm. That is such fake news, guys. I might have a soothing voice. I don't know. You know, that's okay. That's okay. I might have a soothing voice, but I am not a calm person. I am. I can be wicked high strung. I'm going to do something with this next. Yeah, I can be wicked high strung. So I still don't love this. So I'd like to go over that with. I'm looking for tone on tone, so I'm going to go with more of the same. A little bit of this, just to maybe lighten it a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to throw this on because I have it. I was making all kinds of cutouts, trying to deconstruct my boyfriend, Rex Ray. Trying to deconstruct his work. I wonder, you know, I'll tell you, if the day comes when I'm on the other side and I can see what you guys are up to, if anybody is having fun trying to recreate my art, ooh, look at that. If anybody's having fun trying to recreate my art, I would be highly flattered by that, because I'm sure he's sitting up there going, look at these people. They think I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be a problem. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Because I need to take a break for a second. I'm going to get this off of here, off camera, because that's going to be a project. I definitely do not recommend that. That was a project, and I'm going to be washing this out of my fingers forever. Don't do that. Don't put a cut-up piece of copy paper that is a million pieces on your plate, ever. Unless you just want to do what I was doing a couple of minutes ago, which is, yeah. Anyway, so I was telling you about Nicole. So Nicole worked for me. She ran 3 of our pottery studios when we had our paint your own pottery studios. She ran 3. And she did it better than anybody. And people liked working for her because she's such a easygoing, talkative, friendly. We have similar personalities, but she's a little bit less OCD than me. So when 2020 killed our business, she developed a giant case of courage, because why not, and bought all of the physical assets of Museware Pottery from me. Oh, that's a bad idea. Don't do this either. Okay? Yeah, don't do that. So she bought what was left of my company and ran it for 2 years. And just like my company almost killed me, that almost killed her. She was beat. So she moved to, I'm going to try this wood grain thing gently. She moved away to, this is almost dry. You can't take so long, Cherie. She moved away to Arizona, and I moved away to New Hampshire, where I always have been. And we haven't really been with each other for 4 years. We worked together for a very long time. So when I started this YouTube channel and I started making art again, it occurred to me that I have been making art as a, I kind of have been there's a big difference between an artist and a designer, and that's like a kind of almost like a controversy for Rex Ray. But there's a big difference, because a designer is more of a, I'm going to call it a compiler, someone who brings things together. An artist, this is my opinion, I don't even know if this is, I don't even know if this is a true story, but this is what I'm calling. In my mind, an artist is someone who knows how to create something kind of out of nothing, which is incorrect, but you get the basic idea. A designer takes things that exist, this is my opinion again, takes things that exist and creates something by compiling them, like an assembler, which is what I've been for many, many years. I've been a designer, a compiler. I'm just going to pull this thing. So, as part of my adulting, after I lost my business and everything, I decided my mom wanted to put all of her stuff in a trust, and I decided I needed to do that too. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to switch gears a little bit and this is Payne's Gray, and I'm just going to pick this up with Payne's Gray. My mother wanted to put all of her money in a trust, her house and, you know, all that kind of stuff in a trust. So we did that together. And once we finished with her, I thought, you know what, that wasn't that hard, because we, you know, went to this nonprofit thing and they helped us and stuff. So I did the same thing. And one of the questions that they asked, which I had never considered in my life, look how pretty that is, was, who do you want to leave your digital legacy to? And I was like, digital legacy? What is that? I might have that. Get this down so I can't talk and put this down at the same time. So I left my digital legacy to Nicole, because now that my son is gone, you know, he's been gone for 13 years, and Nicole worked for me for 17, so she, you know, she was around in the Neil era. And I don't have anybody to leave my stuff to. So she's my daughter, even though she's not, but she is. She's my daughter. And let me just make a plan for the next, while I'm talking, let me just make a plan. All right, I'm going to, so I left in my trust my digital legacy to Nicole, which basically in my mind, and I think it's written down, but it basically means not my physical art, not my house, not any of that kind of stuff. Everything that I have in digital form, which is thousands of designs. I was a very prolific designer, obsessive, prolific designer. All right, this is my next thing, because I just like the geometry of that. Look what I did. Look at how pretty Payne's Gray is with this. All right, Payne's Gray is going to be, I haven't used any black yet, because well, I have. I put it in with that brown color, and it's terrible. But look at what Payne's Gray does with these colors. So, all right, I'm not so far down the road where I can't switch things up. So anyways, when Nicole decided she was coming home from, all right, hold on, I'm getting confused. When she decided she was coming home from Arizona, she got clobbered like I did. She didn't know if she was going to, you know, she had to start over. She lost everything. And you know, we both got, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. But so anyway, she's home, and I called her up and I said, listen, I'm going to make you an offer. And since both of us are people pleasers, all of our offers have to come with disclaimers that basically say, you do not have to accept this offer. I don't have any, you know, if the answer is no, that's the right answer. And then I told her, I have left you my digital legacy. And she said, what does that mean? And I told her, and I said, I was going to give it to you when I die, but I'll be dead and I won't be able to help you with it. So if you would be interested in running my website, this is all ripped. How come? I want a square page. If you'd be interested in running my website, you know, all my print-on-demand things and stuff like that, I will teach you how to do it. If we sell things, I'll share the proceeds with you. And we can both make some money off of the art that I've spent my whole life making. Or not. And she said yes. And not only did she say it said yes, that's kind of pretty, she heartily said yes, because she has been, she's like me. She's project driven, and when, you know, when we lost the business and we didn't have that project driving us, we both went into some sort of set of stasis or something like that. And it was not healthy for either of us. All right, when in doubt, do the easiest thing, which is one color. Maybe what I'll do, because I have to think this through, while I'm... Anyways, I'm all over the place. She said yes, and we have been, both of us, we call them rabbit holes because, you know, you don't realize it's going to take you far, far away. And well, we've both been down rabbit holes, and I completely redesigned my website, and she's doing stuff like meta tags, and I don't even know those things. She's doing all kinds of tech stuff like meta tags and stuff like that. That didn't really do anything. And I am making the website look pretty. And we're in business. So instead of her waiting until, this is, look, not what I had in mind. Instead of her waiting until I die to do something with my stuff, we're doing it together. Which means I get to create and she does technical support and customer service and, I don't know, marketing and search engine optimization and all of those things that was my life, and I don't want to do it anymore. What I want to do is make art. I want to make art and I want to make videos. Okay. What if I do... All right, try and shake things up. If you don't know what you're doing, then here. This is so thin. And it's drying so fast. You know what I'm going to do one of these times is I'm going to pull out my golden open paints. I'm not absolutely in love with the colors, but they stay wet forever, which means you can mess around. I'm trying to mess around right now, and it's not working. Okay, I'm going to try this. Who taught this to me? Yolande. Yolande did. You can see that pattern coming through. I like that. All right. Let me just throw that right back on. It's actually kind of interesting. Let me just pull this off. See if I can get some of that paint on here. I'm looking for tools, guys. This Princeton Catalyst Wedge, which I use as a brayer, and it makes me very happy. Okay, I just did something here that has my attention. It's grungy, and I'm not looking for grunge, but what I like is transition of color. So I'm going to play with that for a minute and see if I can't, I don't know, I want to put this back in. So let's do light with a small amount of Payne's Gray. So you know how I showed you that cut up piece of paper that I just glued permanently to the gel plate? That's how he creates his symmetrical shapes. He folds the papers all up. All right. What if I do this? He folds the papers up, cuts the stuff out, and then he has a perfect set of symmetrical shapes. So I've got this picture in my mind. I don't know if any of you guys have seen my video about spirit beings. Notebooks. What did you think was going to happen, honey? That is see how it's all buckling? Newsprint doesn't like to be wet like this, so this needs to be retired until a different day. So I keep picturing for my next collage that I'm going to do with these papers is those spirit beings. I keep seeing them larger. I've got a, fairly good sized canvas out there. I think it might be like 16 by 20 or something like that. And I picture these spirit beings done in this cutout thing that I've been doing. And just roll it right on here. And then put it right on here. So that's what I see happening. I won't really know what's going to happen until I'm in the thick of it. But I like the thought of, it kind of makes me happy to think about making some spirit art, because I personally would like to have that on something that I either wear or carry. All right. I need to figure out, maybe if you just put a little bit of this down here. I don't know if I'm talking too quiet. All right. I don't have anything light, and I'm wondering about the wisdom. I was going to do white, and I've been mixing everything with parchment, and I'm afraid if I introduce white now, which will substantially lighten some of these papers, I'm wondering if I introduce that now, if these papers are going to be not happy together. But I'm wondering why I even care, because, you know, I'll tell you, when I look at this book, you know, Rex Ray, I'm like all obsessed with Rex Ray. But anyways, when I look at the book of his art, some of the color choices that he uses are very unorthodox. They don't conform to color theory rules. I'm going to try doing this without getting it all over my hands. They don't really conform, which makes it really interesting. And he was known to say that he enjoyed unconventional color combinations and would often work in very dim light so that he was less influenced by colors. Oh, maybe that's a thought, huh? Joke. I just got the same print that I made 10 times, guys. All right, maybe it's time to... Damn, I don't know what to do. This is the same exact... I have 3 of these, 4, maybe even 5 of those same things. Maybe it's just not a good color combination. So let's do this. Let's take this tricky color that I am committed to dealing with, and instead of mixing it with the colors I've been using, let's just go with white and see if something happens with white that might be a little less expected. Where are all my roll-off sheets? I'm casting around over here for... Here, give me these. Sorry about my head. I know my head is in there. Totally. All right. Ooh. Oh, this looks like pumpkin pie. Oh, that's a pretty pitiful color. Can we... Here. Tone that shit down. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon my potty mouth. I have been accused of having a potty mouth. And I probably do, because I grew up with a sailor who grew up with a sailor. Son of a sailor. That's my story. Except for I'm the daughter. Yeah, when I came home from the Navy one time, I don't remember what I was... I don't remember what I was talking about, but my father was so offended by my language. He was not happy. He was not happy with me at all. How about, this is crusty. Let's see what happens with that. He was not happy with my language at all, and he said something like, Jesus Christ, Sherry, where the hell did you learn to talk like that? And I just gave him the look that he gives me. I'm like, Dad, I can't, I don't know. I don't know where I learned how to talk like that. Look at how pretty that color is, though. That's a little bit of, that's the teal with a little bit of that raw sienna and white, which is actually quite pretty in my eyes. I have to tell you, that is, those colors are, this area here, that's Very pretty. All right, that's not lovely, and neither, all right, these two are next. This one and that one. This is too pure and this is too muddy. Do as I, how does that go? Do as I say, not as I do. Although, you know what, if you do as I do, you're going to learn all kinds of stuff, because I cannot believe what I'm starting to understand. And the fact that I'm even playing with color in front of you guys, I have to tell you that I was wicked self-conscious about the fact that I have been working as an artist for so long and don't know how to work with color. I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm going to do it again. It's easier to work with like this. Okay, I'm just going to put that over this. Hopefully it won't be too wrinkly. I guess it's an improvement. If the paper can handle it, it's going back in. So one of the things I showed you at the very beginning of this video, and I've only used it once. So one of the things that I'm learning about Rex Ray is that, you know, he talks about how the artistic community was a little bit critical of his work because they thought it was more design than art. There you go. More design than art. And I think I know the difference. I have my opinion about, I told you, what the difference is between design and art. But I didn't know what it meant to him until I got this new book that I just showed you with the signature. At the very back of the book, I have a bunch of his band posters that he did for David Bowie, for The Cure, for different bands that I don't really know the names of. And a lot of the elements that he uses, like he's got these draping elements that almost look like pearl necklaces. Oh, that's pretty. Pearl necklaces or something like that. He's got these draping elements. And you see that played out. I'm going to just pull this and get what I can off. You see that played out in his collage work. But what he does is he'll use rubber stamps. He'll use carved linoleum blocks. I have hundreds of carved stamps that it never occurred to me to use on a gel plate. Okay, that is what that is. It's coming up with that and the tiniest scooch of that. So the only reason I've been kind of shy about using them on my gel plate is because they're wicked cute. They're all black, and the rubber's kind of beigey, and they photograph really well, and, you know, I like the way they look, and I don't want them to be, I don't want them to be stained by paint, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So this is going to have to go down for a minute and stay, because I'm trying to pull off this back layer so I can, I'm going to let this go. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Before I go, because I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea, I want to show you what I mean. This is one of his digital works. I don't know how well you can see. It's one of his digital works. If you look at and see all these hangy down things, these lacy, beautiful, I don't know, strings or something like that, they're all quite, this is him. This is Rex. Where'd you go? Dude, he's a cute guy. Same age as me, 1954. I was born in 55. But see how he does that on things like this? He recreates that sort of looping, stringing, pearl, fancy rope stuff. And I think that's why he got the criticism from the art community about his work. All right. So now I'm finding, you know, because of course I'm looking for a way to be like him. But we have a similar background. My background is digital. Everything I learned how to do was on a computer. My ability to create something out of in my hands was really limited. Now I really do need to pause because I need to contemplate. I just want to show you what I'm doing because I'm just getting ready to do it. But you need to see this. I just took my bottle of Payne's Gray and just did that. Yeah, it's totally an experiment, but I just want to see what happens when you do such a thing. Hold on. Okay. So I've said it before in videos, but when I peel stuff up and lay it back down again, if you're trying to get a particular result, you won't get it that way. You end up getting fold marks and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens when I pull this. Now look how interesting that looks when I pull it off. Okay, that's fun. Perhaps I'll just put what's left of it on this thing since it's not a lot of paint and this one's already totally saturated. I love this thing. Princeton Catalyst Wedge. Must-have tool. Okay, so that pulled that off. Actually, see how much paint's still on that? I'm going to pull it off. Okay, now the reason I'm really going to go now is because I want to take an inventory and figure out how I'm going to go. So I really will be back. Oh, I unclogged my Payne's Gray. It's much happier now. This is pretty. I don't know how to tell how transparent this is, but this seems like a pretty transparent color. Let me just do this first. Let me pull up some of. Here's my wedge. Just pull up some of that. Okay, that doesn't, that's almost nothing. That's what I wanted. I wanted to transfer that design onto there. So let's just go back in. Okay. If I were a drinker, and I'm not because I'm not good at it, I would be drinking wine right now. Oh, that's pretty awful. However, that's not. All right, so that color seems to be happier with friends. That's a lot of paint. Even though I've been gel printing and experimenting for, you know, a number of years, I've only been using this big plate, I think for maybe 3 or 4 videos. So I'm a little bit not trained on the amount of paint that I want to put on things. This has got a lot of paint on it already, but I'm going to pretend I don't know that that's not a great idea. You know what I'm probably going to have to do, guys? Because this video will be so long if I can't shut myself up. I'm going to work quietly for a little while so that I can focus on a few things. I'm going to let my brother entertain you, which, by the way, if any of you guys have husbands that are gearheads, my brother just started a channel. I wish he just called it his name because I can't remember how to spell it. It's Oldielocks, OLDIELOCKS Garage. And he's on YouTube. And you know what he's the most shocked about? First of all, he's enjoying himself. But second of all, he sees himself in the camera and he realizes that he's old, and he's shocked by it because, you know, if any of you, my statistics show that most of you are 55 and older, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch of you that are not. And, you know, it sneaks up on you guys, you know. Sometimes I look in the mirror after I've got a shower on and I've got makeup on and my hair is cute and, you know, I'm wearing something that doesn't look like a fluffy gray bathrobe, which is honestly my uniform. Sometimes I'm pleased with the way I look because I know what I've been through and I've weathered a storm. But when I'm in that fluffy gray bathrobe and my hair looks like rooster hair, I'm pretty surprised by that girl looking back at me because she looks like an old lady. Women, we get to put on makeup if we want to make ourselves look better. And you get so used to seeing yourself that way. I mean, it really does make a big difference. You get so used to seeing yourself that way that when you don't, it can be shocking. All right. I really am going to go silent. I need to concentrate. So I'll talk to you in a minute.
All right, this is a brand new song I just finished writing here. I'm going to try to get through it for you here. Here we go. Looked in the mirror, what did I see? Old man staring back at me with tired eyes. I remember when I was young, thought I could fly above the sun, watch me fly. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, won't you fly? I've told some tall stories, I've sang my own songs. We're just looking for some place to belong, to get by. Short road before us, a long one behind. You're afraid to see what you might find, you won't shine. World is your oyster, all laden with pearls, won't you shine? I felt love and I'm blessed with friends. If I could do it all over again, I would try. Done some good things, but I've done some bad. Taking for granted all the good things I have with blind eyes. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, watch me fly. Good Lord, how fast these years have passed. Pray many more before the last, before I die. Some memories get here, some fade away. Don't put off love if you can love today, go and fly. Sad I can't be what I used to be. You'll be surprised what these old eyes see. That's why I fly. World is my oyster, it's laden with pearls. Watch me fly. World is my oyster, all laden with pearls. Watch me fly. All right, well, there you go. That's a rough cut of the new one.
Okay, I have tidied up a bit, and I can tell you my studio is wrecked. I'm wearing my favorite black wool shirt that I wore when I crossed Spain on the Camino, and the elbows are worn see-through, but now it's got paint on it, so I have replaced it with a wardrobe one, and I'm going to make every effort not to ruin that. However, this is what we have. So I'm a big fan of these roll-off sheets because I think when I'm not planning things, I get really unexpected results that I think are very cool. All right, so those are just roll-offs. And there's more, but that's what I found. Okay, I kind of put these in some kind of order, but let's just take a look at them. So I'm looking for something more solid, but with texture, but I haven't learned how to get it yet. But I think that once these papers are cut up into shapes, because that seems to absolutely be my new direction. That's very pretty. Once they're cut up into shapes, I don't think anybody's gonna know or care that they're grungy looking, and I honestly cannot wait to start a collage. And I think it's going to be a smaller one, but I bought a couple of big ones out there, and I'm really curious about what I can do with them. So you can see these are quiet, mostly quiet, which is what I'm looking for, because if you're thinking about trying to learn from artists that have come before us, which is what pretty much all artists do, you know, it's impossible to copy their work, but you can emulate it and you can study it. And one of the things you find out with Rex Ray is that he uses very few patterned papers because the cutouts are the pattern. So something has to be subordinate. Like, that is a busy, busy thing, and you know, it's not what I see in his work, but it's definitely what I see in mine. And that's not a criticism, it's just an observation. So some of these papers, just so that you know, newsprint, I think, has a limited capacity for absorbing paint before it starts to get buckly. I have surpassed that place. You know, this one is still smooth, but this one is absolutely buckly. But that dark over that dark, which is just something, how did I cut this? I think I might have cut this with a heat gun. Yeah, it's all wrinkled up. Yeah, this is just a piece of page divider that I cut with a little, you know, one of those things you'd carve with wood. And this is the last piece. Nope, not quite yet. One more piece. Okay. Yeah, not awesome way to leave. Anyways, so thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I apologize for taking so long to get this video to you, but I believe that now that the website is launched, I might I might be able to turn to some level of normalcy, which is an irregular state of mind for me. Anyways, my name is Cherie Burlington. I'm an artist, an errant, an angel mom, and thank you for hanging out with me while I made this fairly large pile of papers. And maybe the next time we'll see. You know what? I don't know. The next time you see me, I'll be doing something on camera. It was a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out. See you later. Bye.